Hi there, it's Leslie here again with YYC Knits part 2 or 3 of this video. I'm not sure how many I'll end up posting, but we are working our button band on this little children's cardigan, and we're just working it as we go and attaching it as we go all the way around from the right hand side of the cardigan all the way up the collar and around, and then all the way back down the other side, and we've just attached it as we go the whole way around. So it's quite an enjoyable way of knitting a button band, and no muss, no fuss. There's no not knowing whether to pick up 1, 2, or 3 or skip a few. You're picking them up all the way around. The cardigan was knit on an 8mm needle, and we've gone down to a 6, so they line up perfectly, and I just love the look of this finished product. It's absolutely amazing. And here's the back of it here. So to look at that, I mean, it's just perfect. So yeah. That's how we decided to finish this little children's cardigan. We've got one of the sleeves started here, and we're going to finish off. We just kind of stopped where we wanted to start our ribbing, and we've placed these stitches on hold. And now to get the button band started, we started by doing a provisional cast on, and making sure that our working yarn is on the right hand side after we've done that provisional cast on, and then that gets us started in working this beautiful band all the way up. So it's a double seed stitch band. So I'll just show you here. We're at the last buttonhole, and I just thought this would be really cool to do a video and show you how we did the buttonholes as well. So we've got our yarn on this side, and as we go, we're going to attach this as we go. And how we do that is we slip this last stitch as if to knit, and knit it together with the inside leg of this stitch all the way up. And that's how we've worked this whole band as you go. So you'll see how we do that, okay? So right now we're going to work a buttonhole. So as you can see, we've got another purl, so a purl knit to do. So we won't worry too much about that. We're going to slip our first stitch. So we know that in our double seed stitch, we want to purl that first stitch. We're going to do a cast off 2 stitch buttonhole. So as you can see, I've got 3 on this needle now, and I'm going to have 3 here when we get rid of these 2. So that'll make it nice and centered. And so if this stitch here is going to be our first stitch that we're going to cast off, we're going to bring our yarn to the front, and we're essentially just going to wrap that first stitch, okay, by going like so. So we're just gonna wrap it like that. So after the third one, we bring our yarn to the front, move that stitch over to the right hand needle, and take our yarn back to the back, and that stitch is wrapped. So it's just going to reinforce that edge of the buttonhole. We're going to move without knitting. We're just going to move that next stitch over from our left hand to our right hand needle, and we're going to take that wrap stitch and slide it up and over. And again, we're going to move this stitch over without knitting it and slide that up and over. So we've got 2 stitches decreased. So we're going to take it and put that stitch back on our right hand needle, and we're going to turn our work around, and this is where it gets kind of cool. We're just going to kind of tighten that up, okay, and we're going to this is the important part, bring our yarn to the back again, and we're going to do a cable cast on. So we put our our needle right between those two stitches from front to back and take and put that leg up onto the needle. And we'll do another before we tighten it, right through those two stitches, and pull it through and put it right up onto the needle. Now we're going to do one more than the amount of stitches that we cast on, or that we cast off. So I casted off 2, so I'm going to cast on 3, and you'll see why we do that in a second, so not to worry. We cast on 3, okay, and then we're going to turn our work back to the other side here. Now what we're going to do here is we're just going to slide the stitch from the left needle to the right and take that last cast on, the one that we cast on too many, and we're going to slip it up and over that stitch. And there, our buttonhole is complete. Okay, so as you can see, we've got like this side is wrapped and this side is wrapped, so it's a pretty sturdy buttonhole and it's not going to be going anywhere. So our yarn's in the back, it looks like this, okay, and we're just going to, you can see we've got one more knit stitch to do here to keep with our seed stitch pattern. We've got our last stitch, we're going to slip it knitwise, and then the magic begins. Sorry, I had to get my pin, where we've slipped that last stitch knitwise, and here's where we wanted our buttonhole to end up. So we're going to take that inside leg and slide it up, slide it onto our needle just like so, and then we're going to grab our needle. And this is the attach as you go. My pin's kind of in the way. We're just going to knit those two together. I've got a snag here. We're just going to knit them together. And the buttonhole is complete, it's made, and we are attached here to our side. So I'll just continue here really quickly, turn on a light, and show you the next couple rows and how that buttonhole turned out. So we've only got a few rows to get to where we're going to start our ribbing on the base of our sweater, on the bottom of our sweater. So I'll just turn this around so I'm working with my working yarn. So here's my working yarn. So we're going to slip the first stitch purlwise, and we've got 2 purls there on top of one another, so we're going to do our 2 knit rows. So knit, and here's where our button band was made, so purl, knit, purl, knit, purl, and we're going to purl our last stitch as well to make that for a nice clean edge all the way, because when we turn our work, so here's where we're going to work it across and join it to the work as well. Here's our working yarn. We turn our work. We're going to slip it knitwise, knit, purl, knit, purl, knit, purl. So our last stitch is on our needle. We're going to slip it knitwise and then take our needle from back to front, pick up that outside V, slip our needle into the front of those 2 stitches and knit them together. And there we are. So we're actually in line with our picked up stitches, so I can just put these on waste yarn, and when I'm ready to do my ribbing, then we'll just pick those all up and away we go, and we'll put on our ribbing. So the sweater is, the button band is complete, and our buttonhole is so well hidden, but here it is here, and it's just super sturdy, really nice looking, and we've got it from the back side as well, and it's not going to deform or misshape because it's reinforced on both the sides. So here's how the cardigan looks now. And our whole button band all the way around. Kind of trying to do this with one hand, is complete. And it's going to be a boy's cardigan, so we've got the buttons are going to be on the right hand side, and our buttonholes, our lapel is going to go over like so, and 1, 2, 3 buttons up the front. So we've got lots of strings and lots of needles and lots of stuff going on here. We're going to continue to work our sleeves down here and on this sleeve, on the right sleeve as well, and there it is there, making progress. Happy knitting!